There is, I think, one point that is very important. Imagine a future, 10, 20 years from now, where every single one of our interactions with the digital world is mediated by an AI system. So we'll have assistants with us all the time that we can ask questions to, talk to, that will remind us of things. Like a human assistant, but a human assistant is smarter than us. We cannot afford those systems to be proprietary systems controlled by a handful of companies. So we cannot afford to have those systems which will basically constitute a repository of all human knowledge and culture be controlled by a small number of companies. This will become the cultural and knowledge infrastructure of the world, a little bit like the internet today. If the infrastructure of the internet today was proprietary, it wouldn't be the internet. If it was controlled by a couple of phone companies, for example. And it could have happened this way. But in the end, the internet became a global infrastructure, completely delocalized, runs entirely on open source software. AI has to be the same way. AI will become a common platform and will have to be open source in particular, because that's the only way that we can have people around the world contribute to training it so that it becomes a repository of all human knowledge. The French government will not accept that every citizen's interaction with the digital world is entirely controlled by a few companies on the west coast of the US. It's just too dangerous culturally, politically, for everything. This will have to be delocalized and open. There's no other option. I think the biggest danger that we have in the short term is that somehow, because perhaps of regulations, because of fears, which in my opinion are irrational at this point, the technology will be locked behind lock and key so that it's not open anymore. And that's a very big short-term danger, I think.
But steps have been taken against that. ChatGPT is one, Meta also.
ChatGPT is entirely closed.
Well, Meta is owned by shareholders. OpenAI is owned by a nonprofit. Which would you have more confidence in? Getting your technology from a nonprofit or a for-profit company that is entirely controlled by one human being?
Regardless of who owns it, there is one that is open, the other one is closed.
No, it all depends on your definition of open.
If it's open, anybody can use it. Anybody can use it for whatever they want. And it belongs to the world now. So there's a big difference between the two. That's independent of whether the owner is a profit or non-profit.